Well, hello there, one and all, beautiful souls. This is Liz Grace Christie. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Galactic Mythology. I'm here with another weekend goddess report. This one for the weekend of June 6th through June 9th, 2025. We have two significant oppositions moving into totality over the weekend, and they are very magnetic, to say the least. The level of impulsivity is high this weekend, but I will also say that there is a high chance of accelerated synchronicity if you are playing your cards right and paying attention to the world around you, because there is a very high level of distraction in the ethers this weekend as well, because on June 5th, overnight, Thursday into June 6th, Friday, Venus enters into the sign of Taurus, a homecoming, a long-awaited, overdue stay in her home sign of Taurus. Venus is so happy to be here. She's so ready to get her nails done, her hair cut, move into her new home, design it, Barbie dream home status, go to the spa. However, before she can do any of that, she has to confront Hekate, the goddess of the threshold, the goddess who has the domains of the astral, the earth, and the underworld. What this suggests is that Venus has fallen down a rabbit hole, and Hekate is there to say, I can help you, hun, but you have to face your demons. In this world, all that you think becomes real, and all that you ignore becomes even more. So buckle up, sis, and hold my hand, and let's confront with responsibility all that we are. Not too far away from asteroid goddess Hekate and her confrontation to Venus on Friday at 12 a.m. is Arcturus at the 24th degree of the sign of Libra, placing Hekate about 6 degrees orb from Arcturus. Now, Arcturus is a guiding star for us humans. It's an energy of service, justice, preservation, future, protection. It's an energy also of liminality. I understand Arcturus and Arcturian beings to be present at our deaths and at our births. They guide us to our vessels and from it. And not too far away from Arcturus, as we start the weekend off, Friday, 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we find the moon at 20 degrees Libra. So what it's saying is, during the totality of this opposition from Venus to Hekate, we are being asked to really embody the liminality, to embody our underworld, to embody all dimensions of ourselves, Mother, Maiden, and Crone. Men as well, okay? This isn't just a female experience, as I've said in past episodes. Physically, you are defined by a gender, but you are also embodying the opposite of that gender. We are all here to be balanced, such as the sign of Libra. So yes, Venus is being confronted and has to put maybe some of her plans to renovate her home on pause. She may have to slow down her roll on moving in to her dream home right now, because she has to take with integrity the land that she is walking upon and the body that she is using to walk upon that land. And she can look to Arcturus, the fourth brightest star from our human perspective in our galaxy, for guidance in this liminal exploration of the underworld. She cannot reject it. She needs to alchemize with her shadow, like I've been saying for months now. This has been a heavy period of really optimal shadow work, and I really hope we've all been taking advantage of it, because Saturn has just ingressed in to Aries, and Neptune has been in Aries, steady chilling for at least a month now in that 0 to 1 degree line of the sign of Aries. With Saturn making that ingress about 2 weeks ago, it has added an extra layer of scrutiny and action to all that is to do with survival, presence, and sovereignty. Things have really kicked into high gear, and it is amplifying that notion of impulsivity. So we have to be really mindful about our own energy, because the world at large wants to tap into that Hera rage that birthed Aries. So let's talk about that. The other magnetic opposition of this weekend between Mars and Pallas Athena. Mars is at the 23rd degree of Leo as we start the weekend off on June 6, 2025 at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I am reporting from Portland, Oregon. And Mars will be in an applying opposition to Pallas Athena in Aquarius at the 25th degree throughout the weekend. This opposition between Mars and Pallas Athena will hit totality on Monday, June 9th at 25 degrees. If you are someone that has planets or points at 25 degrees within an orb of 3 degrees forward or backwards, you are going to be confronted with a challenge, and it's one that's going to come find you. It's fate, it's inevitable, it's karmic, it's magnetizing, and you're ready for it, honey. You've been ready for it your whole life. The archetypes of Pallas Athena and Aries do not get along in the Greek and Roman mythologies. Their story is one of divine rivalry due to the fact of their severe similarities. However, they have unique expressions, though their fractal is not too far away from one another. If anything, they're two ends of the same coin, one bearing feminine qualities and the other masculine. But both of these characters have to do with war, and they both have associations with virgin births. Pallas Athena's birth is a little bit well known due to the fact that she was born from Zeus's, the king of all the gods, head. She sprang out of Zeus's head in full armor, shield, helmet, sword, ready for battle. She, of course, is associated with virgin birth. However, Zeus did consume a female named Metis somewhere along the line of the story. In essence, Zeus consumed the ability to have a womb, birth Pallas Athena, suggesting that there was a female entity involved in her birth. However, Zeus does get full credit for the birth mythologically. And with that fact in mind, we bring in Hera, Zeus's wife, who, upon the realization of Pallas Athena's virgin birth from Zeus's forehead, became extremely enraged and decided that she was going to go and produce her own progeny without the use of male sperm. With that being said, she went to Gaia and she put her hands on the earth and she asked Mother Gaia to help her produce a child without male sperm. And Gaia said, "Yes, Sister Hera, give me your anger and take my clay in your hands and mold yourself a son who will be known as Aries, and he will be the god of war." So with that in mind, Aries is a product of Earth, and Hera channeling her emotions, her energy and motion into the Mother Gaia, who received her anger and helped her produce a child known as Aries, the god of war. Earth has a link with war. Blood shed is ritualistic. The death of any human being does not go unknown or unmarked. Was this a call for Gaia to have a catharsis, to receive the blood of many humans through the birth of Aries, through the birth of war? Is this a ultimate challenge? Humanity? Hera bringing war to humanity through her rage due to the fact that Zeus birthed Pallas Athena, the goddess of foresight and warfare, through his forehead. He conceptualized it and Hera birthed it. And quick reminder, Hera is the Greek name for the Roman Juno, which is an asteroid goddess that I have spoken to at length for past weekend reports. So tune into those if you're curious about her mythology to get also a little bit more context for this weekend, because Hera is still present. She's in the 18th, 19th degree realm of Scorpio this weekend. She's not making really any major aspects that I felt compelled to share with you all for this weekend. Before I bow out, I really want to talk about how Jupiter is going to ingress into Cancer, and how Mercury will be basically paving the way for Jupiter before he makes that arrival into the 0 degree of Cancer on June 10th, 2025. So this coming Tuesday, Jupiter will ingress into Cancer out of the sign of Gemini. We are still in Gemini season, so we have that Gemini sun holding down that air energy for us. But really, like I said last weekend, Cancer is kind of stealing the show here. We're going to have Mercury, our mental energy, going into emotional Cancer, so passion, juicy words this weekend. And then also Jupiter is going to ingress on Tuesday, but we're getting ready. We're at that anaretic degree throughout the weekend, 29 degrees of Gemini. So we're feeling the edge of something big coming, right? It's like we're aware that I think it's a hurricane season in Florida, so people are out there getting prepared for this potential big storm, this big gush of water and energy. So I think we can kind of think about the Floridians this weekend and how they're preparing for something big to happen. So let us all prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally, and do that shadow work so we can take on with grace and great strides what is around the river bend. I have to sign off. It is a poppin' weekend. I'm getting ready to go to Fire Drums Festival in Northern California right now. It's a festival that revolves around circus arts such as aerial acrobatics, lots of fire spinning, and I'm very excited, and I have a 10-hour drive ahead of me. So thank you all for tuning in and listening to the end. Check out my website, galacticmythology.com. If you're curious about my astrology offerings, I offer astrology consultations, and I also have an intuition kit for purchase, which is a kit aimed to connect you with your higher self through the use of pendulum work. I hand wrote the pamphlet that is in the kit. I hand dyed the bag that the kit comes in. I hand selected the crystal pendulum, and I hand drew and then silk screen the pendulum mat that you work with. Thank you all for listening to the end. Podcast listeners get 20% off of those intuition kits with promo code podcast20, all lowercase. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But also, please leave a comment. I'm making these every week, and the chat's pretty quiet, so I would appreciate it if you all talked back to me. Thank you. It's Gemini season for only about 2 more weeks. So what are you all sleeping on? Mercury just moved into Cancer. Just tell me how you feel. Okay, bye. Love you. Talk to you next week.